We're the Con Guys, and this is the Con Guys Show, coming to you straight from the nerdy heart of Hollywood, California.
And this is Jim with theconguy.com.
She's been here with theconguy.com.
Katie here, aka the Con Girl.
Zordon did not want 5 teenagers with attitude.
My name is Derek Sam.
I'm Danae Sams, and that's my brother.
We are your home for news, opinions, and interviews from the world of Comic-Cons and fandoms. Your ultimate insiders for all things con.
Welcome to the Con Guy Comic-Con Show. This is our annual deep dive into the panels, the lifeblood of San Diego Comic-Con, and this year promises to be a whole different experience. Or is it? You know, we've been kind of talking about this is kind of perhaps a whole different experience, but not necessarily. Anyways, with the writer's strike causing a major work stoppage in Hollywood and most of the major studios having opted to skip the con this year, breaking the hearts of many a con goer, this is going to be a different kind of year. But you know what? We've got the panels. This week we've got the panels, the best, the coolest, the most interesting panels. And not just that, but we've got some cool special guests to get us started. My name is Jim Fry. I am your editor-in-chief here on theconguy.com. And on the podcast, who do I have with me tonight to start off?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Cheeseman, one of the founding con guys, screenwriter as well.
Cheeseman, I'm going to tell you, Cheeseman's super worn out right now. He has been like running like crazy trying to get stuff ready for the con. I've been running like crazy to get stuff for the con. Just so you guys know, the rest of the hosts, they're going to join us a little bit later. You know, we got some special guests on tonight. We got some interviews. This is a jam-packed episode. We're really excited to bring it to you. And for those of you who aren't living in Los Angeles, which is probably the most of you, but LA is starting to feel like Comic-Con. Luke and I, we went to a tiki restaurant yesterday, a tiki bar, tiki restaurant. It was Tonga Hut, the LA's oldest tiki bar. And we walked in, and what did we see, Cheeseman?
Star Wars podcast.
There was a Star Wars podcast going on, all about it, all kind of cosplayers and everything set up, and they were talking about getting ready to go down to San Diego Comic-Con, and it's kind of cool. And we're going to talk. We have 2 really cool guests tonight. Our first guest is going to be Mr. Tony Kim, the founder and owner of Hero Within. He's one of the most, we call him Mr. Comic-Con. He's Mr. Positive, Mr. Comic-Con. You can't get him flustered. That guy just has it all together. And then we're also, speaking of getting ready in Los Angeles and Los Angeles feeling like Comic-Con, we're going to be talking with Mr. Jeff Gunn. He's the owner and founder of the InfoList organization, and they have what's known as the pre-Comic-Con Bash every year up here in Los Angeles. It's happening this coming Monday over in Hollywood. So we talk with him. Then, of course, we got Danae. We got our special guest, Angela Relucio. And from Florida, we have Mr. Thomas Parham joining us tonight, the Blurred PhD himself. So it's going to be a great show tonight. But first, Cheeseman, let's talk. I just wanted to bring this up because I am so excited about Comic-Con every year, but I've gone and done something to kind of slow me down at Comic-Con this year. I'm on crutches, and that's if my mom's watching. Mom, I'm okay. My leg's not broken. Luke, and as nice a way as possible. Why am I in crutches?
Well, he's not a pirate, and it's not cosplay, but
I wish.
Jim being a fan of Cobra Kai and all that, and
that's not what this was.
Well, it had to do with karate. So me and Jim were walking out of a place with some friends, and I was like, "Hey, you want to see a fun trick that Jim does? Because Jim can kick higher than you think.
I used to play soccer a lot.
A little more flexible than you think." So I reached out my hand. I'm like, Jim's going to try to kick my hand. He kicked it, and he's like, "Oh, that's easy. I bet you could do it." And then I easily did it. And then I raised the bar, and then that's when he did his jumping kick and then hurt himself.
In other words, I was just being stupid. It's dumb. The reason I'm bringing this up is in years past, we've done what's called the 6-week fitness challenge, getting ready for Comic-Con. We're not going to be able to do that this year because Comic-Con's next week. But Derek, Derek and Danae and Lara and everybody's going down to Comic-Con. And hopefully next week we'll be able to bring out some, like, if you're not yet ready for the rigors of running around for 5 days out in the hot sun of San Diego, we're going to kind of give you some advice next week on our final podcast. So we have one more podcast before we head down. But tonight, Cheeseman, why don't you set up our first guest for tonight?
Yeah, so we had Tony Kim on from Hero Within talking about what he's doing at Comic-Con. He has a lot going on, and we are excited to share what our interview with him.
Yeah. And just so you know, we started the interview a little bit wonky because I was in charge of the technology, and it never goes well when that happens. Anyways, Tony Kim, Mr. Comic-Con himself, talking about the panels, talking about what he's bringing to Comic-Con merchandise-wise, and he's got a cool off-site that you guys are going to want to check out. All right, here's Tony. And
it's not recording yet. I don't know what's going on.
It's recording,
Oh,
it
boy.
says.
there we go, of course.
It said recording on my end.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, sorry about that. Like, I think we're getting a little bit of a bad reception here, bad Wi-Fi, but we are here with Tony Kim. He is the founder and manager of Hero Within, one of our favorite clothing brands, fandom clothing brands. You can always find him online at Hero Within, but also he it's so much fun when you find Tony at the cons, at the Comic-Con, especially our favorites, the WonderCon and San Diego Comic-Con. Those are the biggies that we love to hang with Tony, find out what he's bringing, because it's always something cool. Tony's always got something cool planned, and we love his clothes. I'm hoping I can eventually get in there and get some of that Godzilla stuff that sold out so quickly at the last con. I was trying to get it. But Tony, welcome to the show, man.
Man, it's Comic-Con is back, and con guys are here, and so I can't believe it.
I know.
It felt like Comic-Con was like months away, and then it just blinked, and it's like right here. It's like, at least at the time of this recording, it's 10 days away, and like I'm
next
in
week.
full freak out mode.
This next week. I know. We're probably not having to freak out as much as you are. We do have a cool panel that we're putting together that Luke is kind of handling all the talent relations, and it's a biggie. And
Cool.
it just takes a lot of time. But you, my friend, you become like kind of one of the cornerstones when people want to find out what's going on at the cons, want to find out the vendors, want to find out events and panels. You can always come to you to ask. I remember one time a friend of ours came down to meet us at Comic-Con, and it was and he was like, I don't know. He said everybody he talked to referred him over to Tony Kim. Tony Kim can be your guide to tell you what you need to do when you get there. So we've been friends ever since. That's a cool thing. Anyways, Tony, welcome back to the Con Guy Show. We just want to take a few minutes to kind of talk about what you've got planned for San Diego this year. And there's 3 things in particular we want to talk about. First, right up front, we want to talk about what it is you're bringing. And I know that you're still kind of finalizing some of your plans, but we want to, if you can kind of talk about, give us a little bit of a preview.
Yeah.
Second, let's talk about the panels. Most of tonight's show will be about the panels.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very different Comic-Con. Actually, this is not a very different Comic-Con. This is just like the Comic-Cons of the last 40 years. It's different than the ones from the past 10 years, maybe.
There you go.
This is a Comic-Con that we're all going to love. And then thirdly, you've got this thing called the Energizer Zone that we have no idea what it is, and we would love for you to tell us about it. But first, let's talk. And Luke, I've been jabbering along. Let's introduce ourselves. Jim Fry here with the Con Guy. Who do we have on the couch?
Cheeseman here again. Cheese on couch.
And Tony, right up front, while people are watching, where can they check out your products, even if they're not at San Diego Comic-Con?
HeroWithinStore.com. You can also find us on all the socials under Hero Within. I have a guest appearance here. Hold on. Whoa.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
You saying a hello?
We got White Fang here.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So HeroWithinStore.com and Hero Within all the socials. That's where you can find us at.
Awesome. All right. Well, Luke, let's go ahead and start. Tony, what are you bringing to Comic-Con, my friend? What can we expect to see?
Yeah.
And where's your
So
booth?
booth right now is in 1943. So it's kind of, it is right next to what used to be Sideshow Collectibles.
Oh, nice.
So that booth is not there anymore, which is really a bummer. Again, one of the changes. But
you say
we're
1943?
1943. Yeah.
Cool.
So
Sounds
that's
like a year.
yeah, it is. So yeah, that's where we're at. Same place we've been before. We're very excited about that location. And yeah, what we're bringing, besides bringing a bunch of anxiety and stress, I'm also bringing a lot of great merch for Here Within. It's going to be a little bit of a different type of year because while we're doing the Star Trek interactive experience like we did last year, where
It's very cool.
fans can come in. They have a wide range of outer jackets to choose from, accessories like name patches, shoulder patches, zipper pulls, pins, all that sort of thing. That basically it's like Build-A-Bear for Star Trek jackets. So you can like, so we still have that coming back as a second year. But what makes us a little bit different is that so during this past year, we had a tremendous success with the Star Trek Picard field jackets. You know, the Star Trek season 3 was so popular, and we came out with the field jacket in 3 different colors, and that jacket was just, I mean, the pre-orders we did 3 pre-orders that sold out in record time.
Yep.
And we're still in the middle of shipping those out and all that stuff. So because of that, we are dedicating a significant amount of our time and space retailing the field jackets. So that while that's not necessarily brand new, it is new because we've been shipping the past couple of months, and because of the demand for it, we wanted to make sure that it was available for fans that are coming to San Diego. So again, they're completely sold out on the website. They've been sold out as a pre-order for many months, but so if you scroll down, I think that you can keep going right there. You can click on that right there.
Big picture.
The banner. Yeah, the big picture. Keep going up. There you go.
Right there.
There's a button. There you go. On the right, the blue button.
Oh, okay.
Star Trek Collection. Yeah.
Star Trek Collection. There you go. Yeah. And then so the field jacket, that will be available at our website or at our booth. The 3 different colors: the Command Red, Operations Gold, and the Science Navy. And so we're very excited about that. But then we're also bringing, of course, some brand new stuff. We've got a United Federation of Planets denim jacket. So it's going to be a black denim jacket that has the UFP logo embroidered, as well as embroidery on the sleeve.
Is it on here right now on the website?
It's not on here right now. It's not on right now.
See it yet. Nice.
Yeah. So you can cut to a pic. You have to directly cut to a picture at this point.
Okay.
And then we in the previous past we sold a tech hoodie that came in a gray and the red operation or red command accent colors. And for San Diego, we're bringing it back, as well as bringing the other 2 colors along with it. So the Operations Gold and the Science Navy as well. So you have 3 different versions of that same jacket. We're also bringing back something that's really big, high in demand has been the Strange New Worlds, the leather jacket.
Well, so that show is so popular.
Yeah. And that's been sold out as well. So that's coming back for San Diego, fully stocked. We also offered we're getting a little bit into carrier bags, and so the messenger satchel bags.
Yeah.
So we'll have 3 new ones at our booth. And what else we have? Oh, we're also offering a few new pins, and we have a really fun exclusive pin to commemorate 2023 as well. So
nice.
So I think that's all of it that
cool.
that we're offering. Yeah.
That's cool, dude. You have a whole team of people that come down, and your booth is always like a hub of activity. Like we always try to stop by and say, "Hey, Tony, how you doing?" And he's like, "Yeah," and then right back in. And you guys, I remember because every time I come, you guys sell out fairly quickly. So folks should probably try to check if they're coming for. You'll be there out and for some preview night. Well, you got something preview night. We'll talk about in a second, but you guys will be there selling the floor.
Yeah.
1943. Yeah. Oh, it's I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. Very cool.
So yeah, a lot of new stuff, a lot of great return. Basically, our a lot of our fan favorites are returning, as well as several new items. And so, it's a great offering this year.
Nice.
Will you still be selling some of your DC stuff, or are you sold out of most of that now?
Sold out of most of it, and again, we're focusing on Trek this year, and
Okay,
this is a big Trek year.
It is. This is it. It really worked out. We didn't really talk about it, but while it hasn't been ideal, some of the changes that's happened to Comic-Con over the past few months.
Yeah.
It in some senses it works out for us because it's a big Star Trek year. It's, Paramount and Star Trek Universe is going to be one of the biggest panels of the year.
Yep.
So we'll be representing, and while there might not be as many people in line at Hall H, there'll be more people on the floor, and more people on the floor means more people shopping. So
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see. Well, I don't want to say that. I've heard from some folks that there will be some presence at Comic-Con that people are unexpected. They're not expecting it, and we can talk about that offline because I'll get in trouble when I talk about it. But
well, that's a part of Comic-Con experience, is that it's there's always surprises, and so regardless of the bummer news that people are sort of hearing, there'll always be things that people are not expecting, and it turns out to be a great show.
Yep. And in the first part of this show tonight, we have a bunch of writers and actors talking about how this year is going to look a bit different. But like you said, I'm always the one that I love the Hall H panels. I love the Ballroom 20 panels, but I love finding the comic books. I'm always in the comic book. I have certain things I'm always looking for, and it's the best place to go looking. So it might be a bit more challenging for me this year because it's going to it's probably going to get a little bit more crowded. All right.
Yeah.
So Cheeseman, we're going to talk to Tony about panels. Tony, you always seem to have some of the most interesting panels. Do you have panels this year?
Yeah. There's a couple that I'm doing. One is called, speaking of Star Trek, it's called How to Boldly Go into Star Trek. And so, one thing that's I get into these conversations a lot because right now Star Trek is kind of in a renaissance or a Trekassance, you can say.
Trekassance,
where there's a lot of content and there's a lot of new viewers. And so a conversation I get into a lot is like, how do I get into Trek? Do I start from the very beginning of the original series and work my way through Next Generation, then Voyager? There's over a dozen movies. And so do I watch them all in order? Like, how do I, really consume the content? Because with so little time and so much content, it's overwhelming to know where to begin. So we're doing a panel where we're talking about helping introduce people who are new or newish to the fandom, help them kind of get into the shallow end of Star Trek, and
the shallow end.
Where we're able to recommend basically different lists of how to consume kind of the Star Trek essentials, where you're not overwhelmed but you kind of have the the basics involved. And so I'm very excited. I have several panelists, Myra Gossett, Clyde Haynes, and a gal named Giraffe, who is all a part of several different podcasts, the Strange New Pod, the Star Trek Discovery podcast. And they're all Star Trek pros, and they've got a wealth of information in regards to Star Trek. And so super excited about that. That's Thursday at 1 p.m. at the Marriott's room 12.
Oh, it's over the marquee. Nice.
Yeah. And then the second podcast or second panel that I'm part of is called Spirituality in Pop Culture. And so that's basically just several different panelists that are talking about how, pop culture, it's fun and it's entertaining, and we all love geeking out over it. But there also is a lot of spiritual implications, and there's some overlap when it comes to the stories that are told in pop culture and then our spiritual journey. And so, because the hero's journey is very kind of common among not just in pop culture, but then also in different stories and themes in different sort of spiritual arenas. And so So we're each kind of sharing basically how, going a little bit deeper in a sense of like how pop culture has challenged us spiritually, and some of, sharing some examples of that. And so I'm very excited about that. That's also Thursday at 6:30 in room 29 CD. So those are the two panels that I'm a part of. And
that's
cool.
So, by the way, spirituality and pop culture, I love that topic, especially like some of my most favorite shows of all time, Battlestar Galactica, Lost, X-Files. They have such underlying spiritual themes that just strengthen them and make them such deeper shows. I love that you guys are talking about that. That's so great.
Yeah.
So on the first one, we're doing the Star Trek thing. Like, do you guys have kind of like a unified idea of how to go about it? Or is everybody kind of bringing their own kind of like, hey, this is how I do it?
So we're all composing our own top 10 lists. We're not comparing those lists. And so the panel, we're going to go through from 10 down to 1, and each kind of sharing, and we're across from, the TV shows, the streaming services, books, movies, and anything that's essential to Star Trek, we're bringing those in. So it's going to be real diverse with everyone, what their top 10 list is. And I would imagine that I'm going to leave with a new appreciation of things I wouldn't necessarily consider on my top 10. So yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Interesting. Yeah.
All right. Before we jump into your last thing, are there any panels that you have seen? You probably don't get a lot of time to go check out any of the panels. I didn't know if you saw anything that interests you at all.
Well, I mean, you're right. It's tough to get away during the show. Of course, I'd like to see the Star Trek Universe panel in Hall H, and it's interesting because this might be the first year in a while that's all week long. Hall H or maybe even Ballroom 20 will be open to where you can come in. You don't have to do the whole crazy waiting in line, and maybe you can just come in just right before the panel starts. And so if that's the case, then maybe I'll have some luck and I can slip in and check it out.
That's cool. I think they do have some big days. Like I know that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, that might be a hard one to get into. The Walking Dead's taken over, and if Legendary does bring actors, they're rumored to be bringing the second part of Dune. That'll be a gigantic panel. I think that one might fill it up. But other than that, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a good time at the con this year. How long have you been going to the conventions, Tony?
So before the pandemic, 2006. And
I forgot that pandemic. Carve out those years.
The P word. So that was 13 years in a row. And then of course we had the thing happen. And then I came back for Comic-Con Special Edition. And then last year for 2022. So 15.
That's cool. So do you remember your first year you attended?
2006.
2006. Okay. So because the big change kind of was 2009 is what people can point to. So
I mean, I woke up, I'd heard of Comic-Con forever. So I was, at that time I was living in Texas for most of my life. I was reading about in the back of comic books, they would have, ads for Comic-Con. So I'd be looking at this in Texas and be like, what is this mythical place called San Diego Comic-Con? And so eventually when I moved here, on a Saturday morning, I woke up and called my buddy up and said, hey man, I heard that Comic-Con thing's happening. I'd love to go. And we literally just drove up Saturday morning, went to the door, we bought a ticket, walked the whole floor, came back. I had no idea there were panels, no idea. But checked out the whole floor, and 3 years later, it was a completely different experience. And so
mine was too. I did the same thing. Yeah.
It's crazy.
All right. So
when did your company start, by the way?
Here
2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 10 years after your first appearance.
Yeah, it's crazy. Would have guessed it and imagined. So
yeah.
And people
way
can
to celebrate a decade of Comic-Con.
I know. What a way to, and people can also find out about on Crazy for Comic-Con, your website, where you talk about all things pop culture and Comic-Con. That's a good way to keep up with you as well.
Yeah, I'm still posting a lot of podcasts, a lot of podcast interviews, a lot of content on Crazy for Comic-Con. So
very cool. And we don't want to let you go before we you're doing something
Party,
kind of cool. And
party.
new.
Yeah,
What'd you
yeah,
say?
yeah.
Party.
Party,
Let's hear
party.
about
You're
it.
having something called the Energizer Zone. What is that?
Energized Lounge.
Oh, Energized Lounge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for a few years, we've here within has hosted some different events, and for Comic-Con has hosted some different events. I think we first met at the Bloggers Party years ago.
Game of Bloggers.
And, years ago, right? So.
Yeah.
So I was looking at doing some other events throughout the week, and this kind of started last year, and then this year I was like, and I realized that what I kind of want to do and what I want to accomplish just can't be done necessarily in a single night or a single day. So we found a location to host what we're calling the Energized Lounge, and basically it's like a Star Trek-themed Starbucks. So it's like a lounge space. It's a small, intimate lounge space where you can basically hang out. You can, how it is, man. You're on your feet, walking around all day long, and so you can chill out at the lounge. You can connect with other Star Trek fans, and you can get re-energized with some Star Trek themed coffees. And so we're gonna have some different iced latte drinks that again are Trek themed, like our Vulcan vanilla latte and some other things like that.
Nice.
And then we have some hot drinks as well. And so for people who need to sort of get re-energized, it'd be a great place to pick up some coffee. Honestly, for me, I live and die off of coffee, and it's super frustrating to be at Comic-Con to not be able to get there you go.
Live on it.
Yeah.
Oh, the kind
and there you go.
nice.
Yeah,
So you can have merch, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
So there'll be some. You can get cups. There's we have 3 different coffee bean blends that again are Trek themed, as well as the drinks that you can take with you as well. And so a lot of different kind of merch. But as I was saying, like I'm such a coffee fanatic that I was just so frustrated with the fact that I can't get a good cup of coffee in a semi-relative quick amount of time, because the Starbucks, there's like 4 coffee shops for 100,000 people in San Diego, So, this is basically one big elaborate sort of thing just so I can get a cup of coffee.
Do you know the price point for the coffees? Like what the range is?
Yeah. They're between like $4 to $6, something like that.
Awesome.
So, it's like, Starbucks kind of prices. And so, but yeah, anyway, but we're partnering with some great companies like IDW Publishing is going to have some displays about their new Star Trek comics that are coming out.
Oh, wow.
Rock Love Jewelry is doing a display with some of their Star Trek pieces. The Star Trek cruise is going to have a display kind of showing off kind of what it's like to be on a cruise. So it's not just, we'll have here within merch that's on display as well, but then we'll also have other merchandise. And so if you're a Trek fan, a coffee fan, if you just want to need to get off your feet, it's a great place to go. So it's at 332 J Street. So it's about a block away. When you cross when you leave the convention center and go down 5th Street, your first left is J Street, and it's right there. So
awesome. You have a map on your somewhere. I saw a map.
Yeah. It's on the blog, and there's a link that has the map. So it's super easy to find.
We'll pull that up here.
Yeah, J and 4th Street. So it's easy.
Luke,
Now,
anything
will
else
people-
before we let them go?
Now, will people be able to buy any of the clothing or the pens there as well?
Well, we will have it all on display. We don't have any merch to go, but if you, but we are offering free shipping at the. We'll give you free shipping code at the shop, and so if you see something you like, you can just go on your own phone and just do whatever, do your own business. And so all the merch vendors will basically have a QR code that if you like what you see, then you can get more information, take it with you and go. So.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Good.
So it's like an offsite for you as well. So it's like you're inside the convention center, and that's awesome. That if people can't get in, they can still check out the merchandise in person.
Yeah, they can try everything on, and they can kind of know exactly what it's like. So
perfect.
Very good. And what's Wednesday night?
So Wednesday is a preview. It's a preview night for the lounge, and so we're going to have basically just a handful of media folks, as well as our staff, as well as the licensed partners, and just to kind of sample the different drinks and kind of get an idea of what the week will offer. Nice. And so the lounge opens on Thursday at 8 p.m. It closes at 10 p.m. nightly for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then for Sunday it'll be open till noon. Yeah.
Oh, so did you say 8 p.m.?
8 a.m. probably.
I'm sorry, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I was going to say, it's just a late night place. Oh, that's good.
Are you doing a time limit for people so people don't just kind of stay there for like hours or whatever?
No, I mean, maybe if we have to, we will. But I feel like people will be cool about that. And
this is Comic-Con. People are going to have places to go.
Yeah. So
that's very good. Tony, thank you for coming on the show tonight. I know that the rest of that, everybody was excited that you were going to be on. So they're a little bit disappointed that they were. I know that Tom Parham's going to be on tonight, and he wrote a book on Trek.
Cool.
And so he is the world. Last year, he was able to interview Gene Roddenberry's son at the convention. Wow. We have a good video of that. So I know Tom's going to be like, oh man, I wanted to talk. So Tom's going to be there in your shop. I will be there in the shop. Derek's going to be. It's going to be like one of our hangout spots. I can't wait to see it. Luke,
awesome.
Anything else before we let Tony go?
Will this be the way into your booth or into the pop-up?
That's right.
Should be the password.
Well, I'm hoping to catch you. Yeah, I'll be popping between both locations. And so if you come in, hopefully I'll be in one or the other. I'll be just the whole week. I'm just going to be running back and forth the whole time. So
you'll get your steps in.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Tony, anything else before we let you go?
No, I think that's it. Just, again, Con Guys, thank you for just all your support over the years. And, we joke about the pandemic, but it's like for all businesses, it's been hard to return back. And as we've seen with Comic-Con, a lot of companies haven't returned back to San Diego. And whether it's a lot of it has to do with the writer strike, but then some of it does have to do with the fact that it's just been tough to return to cons. And so, but because of media outlets like you guys and others that help kind of bring awareness and help get eyes on companies like ours, it helps us to, not just to survive, but to have a successful and a growing show. So thank you for your support.
Tony, thank you for coming on. Thank you for being one of the reasons why Comic-Con stays such a good place. And Tony, it's hard to find somebody who has as much of a positive outlook on things as you do. So it's always, we always root for the good guys, and we consider you one of the good guys. So everybody, this is Tony B. Kim with Hero Within. You can find his clothing at herowithinstore.com, but make sure you find him on the floor at San Diego Comic-Con 1943. That's booth 1943. Also, go check out at 332 J Street. What's the name? It's the Energizer Lounge.
Energize Lounge.
I'm going to get it right before. All right, everybody. Thank you, Tony. We'll see you.
All right.
Hello.
I'm muted, of course. Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be with this group of people tonight. Comic-Con is next week, and we have some of the best guides of Comic-Con right here. I almost said Comic-Con. That's a whole other convention.
That's different. Yeah.
Anyways, that was a really cool interview that Luke and I, Cheeseman, were able to do with Tony Kim earlier today. We were going to have him on the show tonight live, but he is one busy man, so we just kind of grabbed him when we could. We have one more interview, a little short one that we'll do a little bit later with Jeff Gunn from the InfoList group. We were able to grab him today and talk about the InfoList pre-Comic-Con bash happening this week. But first, I want to start up here with half of the Samblings. I want you guys to introduce yourselves, because this is kind of a different configuration of the group this week. This is kind of like, when people, when you're watching a news show and some people go on vacation, but then you get the cool people that want to on from the weekends that are a little bit more fun. All right, today.
Which ones are we? The vacation people or the fun ones?
You guys are the fun ones from the weekend that want to come on
for the weekend.
Always.
Well, let's see who we have with us to talk about the panel tonight. We'll start up here with the half the Samblings.
Hi there. My name is Danae Sams. I am a comedian and writer based in LA. I have been out of the loop for a little bit on Con Guy shows, so I'm real excited to be back right now. And half of the samplings, one of the Con Guys.
All right. Also, one of our favorite actresses. By the way, our group tonight, we are all writers, actresses, professors, but we are all in the we're all very much plugged into what's happening with the WGA and the SAG strikes, and we're going to talk about that tonight. And we have somebody on the inside of the actors community. If you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
I think that's me. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Jim and Cheeseman, for having me back on The Con Guy. Always happy to be here. I'm Angela Relucio. I am an actor based in Los Angeles, mostly film and TV, but I'm also getting into producing. And I'm just so excited. I can't believe Comic-Con is next week. It sneaked up on me this year, I have to say. Usually I am all about programming every last hour.
Yeah,
and now I'm like, I'll do it in a couple of weeks. And I looked at my calendar and said, no, we're doing this for tonight.
Yeah.
So
me and Luke, before the show, right at the top of the show tonight, me and Luke, we were introducing the show, and I pulled this up. Tom, look what happened to me. Look at my Comic-Con experience this year. I'm on crutches. I know. I'm an old man, so whatever.
Hey, dude, you get the ADA. You can get the ADA thing on your badge. So
I was wanting to ask you how that works.
You have to go to the, show up with Luke at the ADA desk, and they'll give you one. They'll give you a sticker, and they'll give him a thing that says companion. So as long as he's with you, you can both get better seats than the able-bodied folk.
Let me get somebody else as my companion. I don't want to hang with Luke the whole time.
Jim, what happened?
No.
What'd you do?
At the beginning of the show, me and Luke were at a Seinfeld trivia night over in Burbank with our friend Christine. We won first place, so we go outside to celebrate. And like a dummy, I took Luke's challenge when he said, "I bet you can't kick this high."
Oh!
And there goes the knee.
You're not spring kicking anymore, okay?
We are also very excited to be coming to us tonight from Florida, Mr. Whoa, there goes my microphone. That's why
we're very excited.
Tom,
hi.
Introduce yourself, please.
Dr. Thomas Parham. I chair the communication department at Palm Beach Atlantic University in West Palm Beach, soon to chair the Department of Visual and Media Arts, which includes cinema and a lot of fun stuff. So also a screenwriter, and just finished the first draft of a pilot I've been not writing on for about 10 years, but working on revisions already. So,
well, it's writer's strike, so we all have time to.
Yes, we all have time to
write
right
now, right? But anyways, we're going to talk about that in just 1 second. I want to get to a couple of the comments real quick. General Gilman, I don't know what this means, but I'm excited for it. I asked the people in the chat, what are you excited for? General Gilman, I'm excited for the Con Guy Power Ranger panel. That's August. That's August with me. I don't know what that means. That's happening with me as a special guest. If Ben has already spoken to you, he has not. But now,
surprise,
General Gilman, I don't know who you are. So this is kind of cool. Wait, what's this? And he was saying the Star Trek cruise has been running for a few years. They were talking about that a little bit earlier. Tom, I did want to tell you, Mr. Blurred PhD, I love his Instagram, by the way. You haven't seen your interview with Mr. Roddenberry, huh?
No.
We posted it as a podcast this year. I am so sorry.
You never sent me a link or anything. It's just like
that is my fault. I'll make sure you get that as soon as we're done here. A couple more. Let me see. I think it was Lily. Jim, are you still going to Comic-Con? Yes. This little crutch is not going to stop me. By the way, I'm starting to walk. I feel like I'm starting to walk again. I've been healed. No, it's
Lori.
I don't want to make fun of healing, but I have been walking, and so I'm getting better. So I think I'm going to be there. But tonight, guys, it's not about me. We do have a short interview with Mr. Jeff Gunn, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Tonight, it's all about the panels. It's all about the panels. The entire panel list has been released, but let me give you a little bit of context. Some of the show, it's kind of a weird year because some of the shows and films have promised cast appearances, but that is still kind of up in the air given that the SAG-AFTRA contract, along with the SAG-AFTRA contract expires July 12th. And,
negotiations go through July 12th.
Okay, yeah. Let me rephrase it. This I got to be very legal with what I say. They're negotiating through July 12th, and actors are not permitted to promote their current films or TV shows if there is a work stoppage. There are some big projects though that are going to be down at Comic-Con, such as the new Peacock John Wick spin-off series, The Continental, Paramount's new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as well as Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be there. Love her. TJ Miller and more. So sure, this is going to be perhaps a different, maybe a quieter Comic-Con, but it's definitely not going to be dead. We've got lots of panels we want to talk to you about. First, can we talk about this strike? Because the writers are on strike now. The actors, Angela, what's your feeling about the actor strike?
I think it could go either way, but I feel like there's strike a brewing in the air, and that's because I think this is the right time to join the Writers Guild if the requests aren't being met by the AMPTP. It just makes everybody stronger. And so I have a feeling I don't think the actors are wanting to go or meet halfway or a quarter way. I think it's most of the way or all the way or else nothing at all. And the demands are fair. So I am in support of the strike if it were to happen. As much as I love seeing big shows, big actors, all the writers and everybody at the convention, it's understandable if they're not there.
And one of our good friends, Brad, sent me a piece from Variety today. Variety put out on their Instagram, leadership from the Performers Guild, SAG-AFTRA, held a conference call with all the top Hollywood publicity agencies today, bracing the powerful gatekeepers of A-list stars for a strike. The objective of the call, according to sources, was to brief the representatives on the protocols and how talent can best serve the union if and when a strike takes place. That sounds kind of like a strike's happening. Tom, I would love to come to you, Mr. Thomas Parham, who does, he's a professor of media studies. Is that right, Tom?
Among other things, yes.
And this is kind of your area of expertise. Can you just kind of tell us a little bit about what are the writers striking for? By the way, we want to get into the panels here, so we don't want to belabor the point, but give us some context for why Comic-Con is going to look different this year.
It's all about streaming, man, because one of the things we're asking for as WGA members, and congratulations to you and Cheese for being new WGA members, but an escalator clause for hot streaming shows, which that's reasonable. If a show's doing well, there should be a bonus built in. But right now, the streaming residuals are not conducive. And because of changes in the industry as a whole, for example, when I sold my JAG script back in the late 90s, it aired once. I got paid a script fee for writing the episode. And then when it reran on CBS that summer, I got a reuse fee that was almost as much as the script fee. That's very rare these days because most network shows don't get a second running during the summer. CBS happens to be one because a lot of old people watch CBS. So, also a lot of network shows don't do 22 episodes. CBS is one of the few that has some of the procedurals and some of the sitcoms do 22. But when you start getting to the streaming series and you're getting these episode orders of anywhere from 6 to 13 as a season and locking in writers that they can't work on another show, it's basically becoming a gig job, not unlike Uber or DoorDash. So those are some of the key issues. But if the AMPTP was willing to deal fairly with the writers, it would cost under $500,000. And oh my gosh, Jeff Bezos dropped $500 million, and Jeff Bezos spent $500 million on his freaking yacht. And he's only one of the companies that's being struck against. So it's like, come on, you're making money, share.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I did, but and as a member of the Writers Guild, I am 100% in solidarity with the writers. I know that Luke as well. It is kind of ironic that we joined the guild just in time to get our very first email, which was, "Welcome to the guild. You're going on strike."
It's because of you guys, actually. You know, you see what you did?
We're
Cheese
bad luck.
fry broke the negotiations.
We broke in. Hey, Thomas. Moochie says, Thomas hoped to see you at SDCC and maybe a panel this year from the Captain America and Jubilee cosplayers who took a picture with you back in 2019.
Oh my gosh, the pre-COVID days. What was that like? I barely remember.
2019 was a big year. It was a very big year. But anyways, to wrap up the talk about the strikes. So, Tom, you sent me, let me see if I still have it. You sent me
Yeah, basically, WGA sent out a thing to the membership saying that you are not allowed to promote a show produced by the companies that are being struck against.
Right.
So let's say that somebody's got a podcast, like Kevin Smith has his podcast with Mark Bernardin. They can promote their podcast because they produce their podcast.
Yep.
But they can't promote whatever they're working on for, Netflix or whomever.
Or like Jamie Lee Curtis, and hopefully this is
podcasts.
I hope Jamie Lee Curtis comes because she's awesome.
I know, but like she's promoting a graphic novel that she wrote.
If y'all aren't watching The Bear, oh my gosh, she does 2 guest appearances season 2.
No, I didn't know that.
Episode 206, the Christmas episode, which is like, if you are triggered by dysfunctional families, be ready, because oh my gosh, I almost had to stop. It's a double-length episode, and somebody is dealing with some serious issues. But she is, I've adored her since the late 70s, especially Trading Places and A Fish Called Wanda. So it's good to see her get this resurgence in her career and the Oscar, which she dedicated to her parents. But man, it's just,
I know. Hey, Tom,
but the networks and the studios and production companies, the producers need to start paying writers their fair share.
Well,
let's go. Yes, we're all ready to get back into the swing of things, right?
And by the way, we always hear that, like, your fair share, your fair share. By the way, I do want to speak on both sides of this. I don't know. I really don't want to speak on both sides.
Maybe later.
But I just think I don't. From the studio standpoint, their perspective is that they're unsure. That they're saying that they are losing money on streaming right now, and from the looks of things, most of the studios are kind of having to recalibrate how much money they spend on streaming. Well, they overspent, except for Netflix. Netflix is still profitable when it comes to streaming.
Netflix is not profitable at all, but that's a different discussion.
Well, this is true.
No, the problem is, I was talking to a friend about this yesterday. Nobody knew what streaming was going to be like, so everybody just took wads of cash and threw it at the wall. Yep. And then they're realizing, oh my gosh, we're not making a lot of money, which is why shows are getting canceled that you might like a lot. And Netflix has a secret measure, the completion rate of shows. And if your completion rate for the entire season is under 50%, you ain't getting a second season.
Yeah.
Or an additional season. So Disney Plus just took a whole bunch of stuff off, including Mysterious Benedict Society. And
I know, with Tony Hale.
With Tony Hale, and a good friend of mine, Heather Jing Blatt, wrote for season 2. And the thing is, they get a write-down. They take a write-down for that, but guess what? Those writers and profit participants and people who would normally get some kind of residuals, they're not getting nothing more.
Yeah, and Cheryl Anderson, right? Her and
Very
Anthony
well.
Epling. Her show, 3 seasons, and it looks like it's going possibly into a 4th season, depending on how well it does. Is doing great at Netflix. Still, Sweet Magnolias.
Right.
So there is content out there, but just to kind of say. This is what, as a writer, the 2 things that I am mainly we might be marching down at Comic-Con, which that'd be interesting. Stop. Studios don't write scripts with AI. Don't just use be common sense about it. Okay, we will use writers to write scripts. That's an easy one. Why do we?
Black Mirror people tried it and they said the script was terrible and derivative.
I mean,
And I've discovered trying to use AI to do lesson plans for my classes. AI will make up stuff and lie just like or worse than students do. So,
yeah, because it's based on the rest of us. But
Did you
but
guys
that
see-
and the and we have to know streaming numbers. There's no way for an industry to move forward and get paid adequately and accounting to be correct without streaming numbers. So off my soapbox, because people aren't here to hear us pontificate about the writer's strike and the actor's strike, but we are writers, actors, performers, and comedians right here, and we all care about it deeply. And because it's kind of harpooning parts of Comic-Con. So here we go. I would love to know. Let's start with Angela. Let's start with right up front with Wednesday, Thursday. Are there any kind of panels that you are excited about that are happening? Oh, before we do that, because the studios aren't showing up, Thomas, what kind of panels are we going to get at Comic-Con this year?
Comic book panels.
Imagine that.
What?
Crazy talk.
Shocked face? What? No. And I think a good amount of animation too will pop up in the panels, right? So those will remain. I see a lot of more like educational stuff, like the science behind how this sci-fi show works, that sort of thing. I saw a lot of that in the schedules. And then of course, there's things adjacent to comic books. Like, okay, so for instance, so on Thursday, so Wednesday night preview night, right? I like to just get settled into my hotel. I just like to get settled in, get a feel for the air, the crowd, the energy, and I don't really try to do too much. I don't overdo it because I gotta ration my energy for to last the whole weekend. But come Thursday, we've got a few panels that are exciting. Like I am obsessed with The Last of Us. I'm sure the rest of you are as well. And there's like a Science of The Last of Us panel happening at 11 a.m. But what happens is it's the same time as a panel I'm interested in called Queens of Lust and Lore, a live romantasy author panel. I didn't know I was such a huge romance fan, but there is a huge intersection between sci-fi and romance, and epic fantasy and romance and all this stuff. So this past year, I've really been embracing the romantic nerd side of me. So that's happening both at the same time at 11 o'clock on Thursday. We've got there's a panel by CBS for Ghosts. I'm not sure what that'll look like, but I do have a college friend who's in that show, so I would love to come and support.
It's one of the coolest shows on television. What's that?
Sheila Carrasco. She plays Flower, the hippie.
It's such a delightful show. I'm almost done with season 2 because
it's easy to binge and wonderful. So she's my NYU Tisch classmate. So I just love to support the people that I see or that I went to class with or school with. It's just exciting to see us all support each other. And then of course I'm a huge Outlander fan. So 3 p.m. Outlandish Confabulation. That is a meeting of all Outlander fans, both the book and the series. I haven't read the books, but I watched the TV show. Super obsessed. And then a 6 p.m. panel called How to Adapt Beloved IP. As an actor, writer, producer, I am. That's all what everyone is talking about, right? How do you get that next? If you read something interesting, how do you snatch that up and turn it into something for the screen? There's, of course, Jim, what you talked about for Friday, the Walking Dead universe. AMC is having their panel at 1 p.m. Not sure what's going to go down, but that's the first look access to all things Walking Dead universe.
I'm looking forward to, and that's already on TV. It's already started streaming. Showing, right? Walking Dead or the new Walking Dead show with
the Dead City. Yeah, we just finished episode 4. I think episode 4 just aired on Sunday. I do want to hear about episode 3.
But let's stop. 3. Let's stop. Let's not go to Friday just yet. I want to hear.
Oh, Danae. I see. Okay.
Oh, yes. No worries. Danae, do you have any Thursday panels you might be interested in?
Well, I was going to say I'm so excited for Archer because we're coming in. I've been a fan of that show for a long time, and we're coming into the last season. And Bob's Burgers, because I'm pretty sure they were on Thursday.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, are they going to happen?
Wait, Thomas.
Yes.
All the animation, is animation under any kind of a different contract? Because I don't know.
Some animation, the Fox primetime animation shows are generally covered by Writers Guild contracts.
Okay.
Other shows may not be. Animation Writers Caucus is kind of like subdivision. I mean, they're kind of like auxiliary to the Writers Guild, but yeah, it depends. When The Simpsons hit it big back in the 90s, basically the Simpsons writers are like, we're your hottest sitcom. You need to pay us like live action writers. And then all the other animation domination shows got favored nation status, which means we'll have what they're having. So, but it really depends on the outlet. So yeah, it's up in the air.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I know that the FX shows are striking, at least those writers are.
Yeah, but that I wonder about the Cartoon Network, like the Adult Swim, perhaps not, because if you look on the calendar, Danae, and I want you to keep going, because though a lot of these animation panels, they're on the schedule, like we'll be there with casts.
Yeah, I know, and it's I'm so excited because, like, first of all, I haven't been to Comic-Con since 2016, and that was the last time I went. I mean, COVID, the monster, kept me from going for a few years, but 2016 was my last Comic-Con. It's been that's 7 years ago now. Am I doing the math right? Yeah. I don't have any like cosplays planned yet or anything because my life has been really hectic this year. But I'm so excited to get back. And
Danae's a comedian. She's a stand-up comedian, folks. She's got shows. That's cool.
It keeps you busy, especially when you have a day job and you're trying to write full time at the when you're working 3 jobs. It's hard to find time to do cosplay.
You can rest when you're dead.
Which might come sooner than later if you don't get some rest.
Exactly. So like I haven't. I'm just excited. I don't know what I'm going to be able to see. More than anything, I think I'm going to like walk the floor because I mean those booths will still be there. I mean, during WonderCon, I got to see so many awesome writers displaying their books, and as an author myself, I'm really excited to go and just have a look at what other books are going to be there. So there's still going to be, even though a lot of our shit we might miss out on, the Archer final season panel or the What We Do in the Shadows panel or the Bob's Burgers panel and everything else. There's still going to be so many great things going on both in the convention center and off. So
Here's
still
the deal,
excited.
though. What I've heard that for these panels, if the actors and writers don't show up, correct me if I'm wrong, I've heard that the producers of those shows will still be there, and we can expect a whole lot of screenings this year. So lots of screenings in place of
the non-writing line producers. Boy, that'll be so much fun.
Big Cal's gonna show up.
Can you just see, like, can you imagine what like producers on a panel are going to be like though? Like big producers, it's just like, we're going to put on a show and you guys are going to watch it and we'll make money. In the panel.
What about you, Tom? What is Thursday kind of looking like in your purview?
I just got the full schedule link that y'all sent me. And
by the way, full disclosure, we asked Tom way too late to be completely read up on all the stuff here. So I appreciate you jumping on.
The things that caught my eye is I think there's going to be a Star Trek panel about Star Trek comic books from IDW.
Yep.
Which is intriguing because they've done a good job with that license. And this is a cartoon for Netflix, so I don't know what's going to happen with it. But Kevin Smith and cast members from Masters of the Universe Revolution are supposed to do a panel. So we'll see if that happens because Netflix is being struck against. And, because it's animation, I don't know. But
Brad, if you're still watching, I'd love to know what you think about the Kevin Smith Masters of the Universe panel. Brad had some very strong opinions about that before.
The show, the season 1 Revelation that you have.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought they took some bold storytelling risks, and it's not He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. This is Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
Because they literally make it look like they get rid of He-Man and Skeletor in the first episode.
Yep.
And Teela carries the first half of the season.
Yeah.
But no,
I think that was what was a little upsetting to people who are expecting a He-Man show.
Well, but look, what's interesting is they do have a He-Man in the Masters universe for kids, but this show was not for kids.
Oh, okay.
And Mark Hamill is Skeletor. Just something about Mark Hamill playing evil cartoon characters makes him I mean,
I love it. What, is there anything else that just jumped out at you from Thursday?
Not really. I have some friends doing.
There is one.
Do y'all have a panel on Thursday?
Is yours?
Oh,
is it?
It is the Power Rangers of the official 30th anniversary panel. We have this. Look at this lineup: Patrick David,
Wow.
Roger Velasco, Davi Santos, Christopher Kyman Lee, Peter Adrian Sodarso, Cameron Gibo. I'm going to get this name wrong. Sullivan Ward, Blake Foster, Dwayne Cameron, Tracy Lynn Cruz, with a very special guest, Walter Jones, joining us as part of the panel. Guys, Ben Cleaver is going to be facilitating this. This is huge. This is a big panel. And for the record, we may be taking a couple years break because this one was hard to put together. I tell you what, these Power Rangers, they're busy folks. They just have a lot going on, and we just I don't know. It's poor Luke out there. That's the reason he's not on the show tonight. He's making banners for each of the Power Rangers because they're going to be promoting it. And not just that. This is what's cool. So Thursday, let's say Thursday at 6 o'clock starts your 90s nostalgia part of the Comic-Con because the Power Rangers are going to be here. They're all starting in the 90s. Right afterwards, Bernie from XLE Productions, he is hosting. They've changed the name a little bit. And they're being a bit more accommodating for the Power Rangers because I got it right here. I just talked to him right before the show. They're having Nostalgia Nightclub, a 90s TV takeover. It's going to be a lot of the folks from 90s Nickelodeon, 90s, kid shows, the shows that we grew up with, the 90s sci-fi shows, the Power Rangers. We got like 8 of them are going to be walking over and being VIPs. It's going to be such a cool event. So if you have not yet gotten your tickets, go to, I've got it right here. Here's the banner. It's XLE Entertainment. It's going to be a big show it is the big after show, the Comic-Con after show for Thursday night. He also has not Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night. There's also a Wednesday night, which is, that's the Ready Player One show. And then
Ready Party One.
So, wait. That's Wednesday night. Thursday night is Power Rangers. Ready Power One is Wednesday. Power 90s Nostalgia is Thursday. And then Friday is their Monster Mash party. Their monster themed.
Are they doing a Barbie themed party?
The Barbie Dream House is the VIP experience that's going on the entire week inside their setup at Park Nightclub. So go to xleentertainment.com to find out all your information about that. So anyways, we're going to have a little bit more coming from that. We're going to be doing some promotions, some joint promotions with Bernie and the XLE Entertainment folks. I'm excited about that. And Tom, if you probably didn't hear the earlier part of the podcast. So Tony Kim is doing an offsite this year.
Oh, I saw some of that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Star Trek themed coffee house. And they're also partnering up with, I think, was it IMG? Who's doing the Star Trek comic books?
IDW.
They're going to be there on with some displays and comic book stuff as well. So it's going to be a very cool experience. So I'm really looking forward to that. Sorry. So if I interrupted whoever it was, I apologize. Oh, no, I just was talking about our panel.
I think you interrupted.
You interrupted yourself.
I'm going to ask who wants to jump into Friday. Go ahead, Angela, because you had some Friday stuff you started talking about. Let's go ahead and see what you looked at for Friday.
Well, on Friday we have let me see what time it was. Friday, 10 a.m. to 1:15. One Ring: The Quest for Bilbo's Secret. I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. I will go to all of these. So I'm not even sure what's going to happen there, but they had me at Shire and Hobbits. So I'm going to check that out. That's okay. So that's on Friday. We also have what I talked about was the Walking Dead universe that AMC is putting on.
Yep.
And I think those were the two that I put in my on the app. You know what I mean? As go check it out. I'll probably peruse the schedule one more time because they put on a lot of programming. I mean, it is impressive that they're like 5, 6, 7 at any given time slot.
Yeah.
And sometimes you want to go to both, and you have that ability. You can pop in and out of the ballrooms, right? So you can do half of one, the second half of another. A lot of flexibility there, and that's sort of what I do. I panel hop sometimes.
Yeah.
So
There's one that we missed on Thursday. I just want to bring it up.
But
It's a big one. It's in Hall H. It's the Paramount Pictures Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. It
Do you
says
think
discussion
anybody's
with-
going to actually be there for that, though?
it says discussion with filmmakers and footage. So I don't know who's going to be there, but isn't
yeah,
it
it's vague.
isn't it an animated film?
It is an animated film, but the thing is, animation does use SAG-AFTRA actors.
Yeah.
So if they're striking and they say don't go to panels,
The producer is Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
Mm.
If he's there on behalf as a producer, not as a writer. I don't know how that works. So
Well,
we'll see.
he's a producer, not a writer. So
Yeah. They also the cast of Jury Duty. Have you guys seen Jury Duty on Amazon?
Oh my
watched
gosh, so good. I did put that on my schedule. I did put that on my schedule as well. The Jury Duty. The one guy who didn't know about it is I think on the panel, which makes sense because I don't think he's
not.
He's a regular guy. He's a regular guy.
That's
been
guy.
Yeah.
It's just going to be him. That's the big.
It's
point.
just gonna be him. He's the star. That's right.
All right. Anything else before? Okay. Thursday. Hey, Danae, I would love to know if there's. I'm sorry. On Friday, is there anything that jumped out at you on Friday?
I don't know. I think I already talked. Yes, I accidentally mentioned the Friday ones when you asked me about
okay.
Thursday.
The
I
animation
got them
ones,
all
yeah.
mixed up. I think that's when Bob's Burgers is actually.
It
on
is. That's
Friday.
the day that you wait in line out at the ballroom, the Hilton Indigo Ballroom.
Yep.
And you pray for good weather because it's either super hot or super cold out there. Tom, make sure we don't miss the panels that you actually are participating in.
yes. So the one I'm looking forward to on Friday are the first one is the Black panel, and it's been going for a while, but it's basically African American creators of comics, TV, film, talking about unique issues, and it's always very lively and interesting to see what's kind of in the zeitgeist.
Do you know where they're having that panel?
I don't know. I just closed that window.
No worries. We can find it.
Since we're using my bandwidth for this thing, I'm having to use 5G for my iPhone to stream. And then I think there is a Roddenberry panel on Friday that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Den of Geek and Roddenberry Entertainment present Does It Fly?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, my browser is taking forever to open up, but I'm interested in that. I'm on a panel in the afternoon, late afternoon on Friday, called "The Power of Color: Race Swapping," and started a couple years ago dealing with issues of representation, but specifically, there's sometimes surprising pushback on gender flipping, race swapping legacy characters.
Yeah.
For example, and everybody's not always in favor of it. A friend of mine, I won't name him because I don't want to call him out, but he works in comics and has done some high profile projects, and he's not a fan of it. And I'm like, dude, back when these characters were created, there was no color behind the scenes, so everybody was Anglo.
Well, I do have to, Tom. I gotta jump in on the other side. I'm not always a fan of it. The race swapping is less problematic, I think, but I think it's lazy just to say, here's your characters you grew up with, these heroes. We're gonna turn them into heroines just because we can't. I just sometimes think that's lazy writing. The one exception. Oh my gosh, the new Starbuck from the new Battlestar Galactica.
I was going to say, you better make an exception for that.
It was the best gender swap that's ever happened. Let's just put it that way.
One of the funny comments from back when, actually Kevin Grazier, who was the science advisor for the show, said, classic Battlestar Galactica, fans wrote Starbuck Apollo / fiction. New Battlestar Galactica, the writers write Apollo Starbuck.
Have they ever done Batman and Robin where Robin was female?
Have you read Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller?
Okay, I guess that the answer is yes, because I'd be interested in seeing that take on that.
And Stephanie Brown had a stint as Robin, so
okay,
which is still canon. So there have been female Robins. Titans season 4, they made Tim Drake black, or sorry, they made Tim Drake ethnic.
Remind me what his character is.
Tim Drake was the first Robin to have his own comic book. He's the one who replaced Jason Todd after Jason Todd died.
Okay, yeah.
And then, in Titans fashion, one of my former students, RC Ryan Clem Barnes, says that Max's Titans was the mashup of Super Friends and Dark Knight Returns that nobody ever asked for.
Let me ask. Here's a question that I would love to ask. By the way, I'm throwing out as devil's advocate, but also because I'm interested. One of the pushback, and we don't have time to talk the panel too much tonight, but what do you think of the I hate to say argument, but the idea put forth that, like, hey, let's create some new characters of color or some new characters of different genders? Like, do you think there is any bit of the laziness factor in the fact that, hey, why can't we create great new characters? Like we created a Miles Morales, fantastic character, but it's not Black Peter Parker. It's a new character that people love.
It's still a new character inhabiting an established IP hero.
Okay.
And and some people aren't hip to that. My very first Comic-Con in '86, when I was stationed in San Diego and would beat feet to the Civic Center, because there was no con.
I remember that. I never went, but I heard about it.
But I had a conversation with Paul Levitz, who was, I think, the executive editor of DC back then. And post-crisis, what they were about was, we want to create new versions of legacy characters. And so I don't have a problem with creating a new version of a legacy character where that new version is either a woman or an ethnic minority. But there are people who don't like that either. So, and it's really hard to create a brand new character out of whole cloth and have that character succeed.
It is. I agree. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like saying, hey, go create a new Star Wars movie, make it as popular as the first one. Sometimes you just, a time and a place of a character and a film and a franchise and a brand starts when it starts, and it's the magic of that moment. So I'm going to come to that panel. That's going to be an interesting panel. I can't wait to hear about it. Anything else on Friday before we jump? Because I don't want to go.
Yes, there's a 2:15. 2:15. Now, someone in watching, please comment, because every time I say it one way, I get corrected to say it another way. Is it Weta Workshop or Weta Workshop? Go. Somebody type it in.
Weta.
Is it Weta? Perfect. Well, Weta Workshop is celebrating, they're doing a panel called Celebrating 20 Years of Middle Earth. They always, they never cease to amaze me with their stuff. Whenever their booth on the floor, it's always like, the stuff that they create is just mind-blowing. So at 2:15, they have a panel on Friday that I'm going to pop into. I don't want to miss that.
Mm-hmm. In the old days, Richard Taylor would actually be at the booth sometimes too, because it's like,
wow,
Richard Taylor, you're awesome.
That's so cool, because their stuff is already impressive. But you've seen them. They do also like live demos of putting makeup on and just sit there. Everything that they do, it's just amazing. So I want to see I've never gone to an actual panel, but they have of theirs, and I'm going to see that at 2:15 on Friday. There's just so much going on Friday. This is why I said we have to pace our energy,
like
pace it out.
Day, yeah.
Yeah, there's something, there was something about, there's horror writers, Ask Me Anything, with creators of, of Storm King Comics. Sometimes I just explore. Sometimes I don't even know what these comics are, and I want to wander in. And as Danae was saying, like walking the floor and just seeing what booths are out there, those people will talk about the panels that they're doing. And after you meet them, you want to go and check out what they're doing, right?
Can I follow on with the comment you just said about Storm King Comics? That's that's the wife of John Carpenter. What's her name again? We were just talking about her before.
Let's see. I'm hovering over the description right now. Sandy King Carpenter.
Sandy King Carpenter, and she is going to be a special guest with their comics at Bernie's Monster Party on Friday night. So it's going to be cool.
Oh.
And there's a
you're going to that, huh?
Director that I love very much who's going to be letting us know about that. So I can't wait. John Carpenter. Sorry, keep going.
Nice. I don't know. I think there were more, but it's just so hard to narrow down because you guys, I'll pack my schedule up hour to hour, and then I'll only go to like 7% of the things I plan to go to. Are you like that too? Is anyone else out there watching like so ambitious with their panel scheduling, and then they just meet up with friends, or they see an exciting cosplay, or they follow an R2D2 all over the floor for 30 minutes, or at WonderCon, there was I think a father and daughter who were doing who were dressed as the characters from Encanto, and they were singing "We Don't Talk About Bruno," and they were doing that where all the Star Wars robots were. So it was just like, it was so weird, but I was fascinated for a full half hour.
That's awesome.
Easily.
Danae, is there any on Friday that we missed? There's a biggie.
There is. I was looking at Saturday to get ready to talk about that one.
All right, we're jumping in Saturday, but we have to mention Rick and Morty's 10th anniversary. It's going to be perhaps one of the biggest panels of the day. If you want to go see this panel, especially if they have any of the voice actors, but even if they don't, they'll probably. Do you think Harmon will probably? We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know, because he would be a part of SAG. He's a writer. Is the thing?
He's a writer, but Thomas, did they let the showrunners act differently than I don't know how that works.
I don't know, because a lot of showrunners still
that I
write,
sent you, man.
and then I mean, in the case of like Bob's Burgers, Lauren Bouchard does voices. Just I don't know. I really just don't know. Like we said, it's probably just going to be a table with a couple of producers.
Who knows?
A lot
I'll
of
be there. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Because Jim, did you see Jim? Because at 5:45 they have a conversation with the cast and creator Prime Video's Invincible, and that's Robert Kirkman. But it's like, if you look at the cast, there's some big names on there.
Yeah.
So, including Walking Dead folks, right? So like, I don't know what'll happen.
What's cool is there's some actors that are showing up, but they're hidden in kind of obscure panels. Like David Arquette is showing up, and I found him earlier. He's in this panel that you would never. Marty Croft, Sid and Marty Croft.
Marty Croft panel.
Yeah, because I guess he was a young actor on the show back in the. He's an alumna from the show.
Alumnus.
I can't get alumnus. He's a dumb alum. Anyway, so he's going to be in the Sid and Marty Croft panel, which I thought was a big surprise. That's kind of cool. All right, let's jump into Saturday because we are kind of running out of time here. So Saturday, who wants to start this? Hey, Tom, do you want to start?
I'm excited for everything Felicia Day is doing on Saturday.
Danae, let's let Danae go. Yeah,
because there's a spotlight on Felicia Day, and it sounds like she's just going to be hanging out and talking to people, which it would be cool if more people take advantage of that, of not being there to promote a show, but there to just let fans ask questions that aren't about a show, but about everything else.
For the record, I got direct word from one of the studios that is not showing up that they may be there, but just not for a Hall H panel, and that this type of activity that you see Felicia Day doing will be coming. So I think we're going to see more actors there, perhaps
hanging out, hanging out, but not at a panel.
Even though Thomas sent us the note from the WGA, where the WGA is actually encouraging folks, just don't even attend. We prefer you not even.
Well, no, I don't know if it said that. I think it said don't promote on like studio sponsored stuff.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Yeah.
It's kind of like that. But if you're gonna go and just nerd out with the rest of us, that would be cool. I'll hang with Felicia, right, Danae? We'll just chill with her and all that. But
yeah, we'll just go to Starbucks and hang out.
What else Danae on Saturday did you see? Anything?
I didn't hear what you said, Jim. What?
Oh, anything else on Saturday before we throw it over to Thomas and
I mean,
Angela?
that was the big one that was sticking out. Like, I would love to go to like Abbott Elementary and other panels like that. But again, it's just
I'm telling you, the principal on Abbott Elementary is the funniest character on television right now.
She's like a black
She's great. Scott. She's great.
What'd you say, Tom?
Like she's like a black female Michael Scott.
But she's sassy. I love her.
Yeah, I feel like we are in a stage right now where comedy just isn't funny anymore, or it's trying too hard to like preach about something, which that's great. If you have ideas you want to share, you can do that. But if you get preachy, you're not going to really do it in a creative way anymore. And Abbott Elementary is a show that has just stayed so good. It is it might be one of the funniest shows on TV right now.
I think
and
so.
when it does have a point, it doesn't shove it in your face.
Yeah.
It's in there just the right amount to get it across. So I love Abbott Elementary. As somebody who's very picky about comedy, go watch it. It's great.
And Tom, you had a comment about that. What were you going to say?
Oh no, just the thing about Abbott is Quinta Brunson, who created the show, first season was nominated for a producing Emmy, a writing Emmy, and an acting Emmy, and won the writing Emmy. And then Cheryl Lee Ralph, who plays the veteran teacher, won for Best Supporting. And I heard an interview with her on NPR. She almost quit acting a couple years ago, and one of her fans told her, "Know who you are."
She's amazing. I've seen panels with her on it, and she's just magnetic when she speaks. I just want to invite her over so I can hear her talk all day long.
She's pushing 70 and looks amazing.
Amazing. And she said she says it took me 40 years to become an overnight success or something like that. Yeah. She's great because she's also a stage actor and wonderful.
She has. Are you kidding me?
Say what?
Did you say 70?
She's pushing 70.
Something.
Oh, come on.
Way to out her. No, that's way to out her. I said, but no, she's pretty vocal about that. Yeah.
Danae?
Thank you. She just has a really great quote. Like I was saying, the show is awesome, and it's got those really great heartfelt moments, as well as just moments where you have to pause it because you're laughing so hard. But her character is really good about being really funny, but also just being the wise teacher that is leading Quinta Brunson's character along. And one of my favorite quotes ever, like I want to embroider it, I want to put it on a t-shirt, I want to hang it up where I can see it every day, is she's talking about how awful parents can be when you're a teacher. And she says, "Some people have thrown dirt on my name. Others have brought flowers. It's all a garden to me."
Oh man, that's so good.
Love that. It's just like, that's just such a great taste of how good that show is. So can't say it enough. Go watch Abbott Elementary. It's awesome.
Cool.
Agreed.
Can I throw one in real quick? Because it's right at the beginning of the day on Saturday. Well, I don't know what time it is, but Lily, me and Lily, she's watching the show tonight. We have a shared love of Snoopy and Charlie Brown. There's one called Snoopy Lives It Up. Discover the animated Peanuts content in the works at Wild Brain Studios for Apple TV Plus, the home of all Peanuts content. It includes a sneak peek of Camp Snoopy, the adventures of Snoopy and his Beagle Scouts at summer camp, and a whole lot more. Plus, there is an offsite, a Camp Snoopy offsite at Comic-Con this year. Man, my heart's full just thinking about it. You know, last year, he's way over the closet. Where'd he go? No, right here. Wait. Last year, I got it right here. This was my big get from Comic-Con, Charlie Brown. And I remember telling you guys the story last year how I was having a stressful like Saturday or Sunday. I forgot what day it was. It was just super stressed where there's a lot of stuff was going wrong. I had to walk blocks and blocks back to the car. And I just was like, I was having a good time, but just stressed. And I got into my car and in the seat belt in my car was Charlie Brown. I hadn't bought him. Somebody had bought me a gift and he was just there.
And broke into your car?
Huh?
And broke into your car?
It's okay. And Jim started crying just at the thought of Charlie Brown. Me and Charlie Brown, we're the same character, my friend. We are the same.
You need to get a t-shirt,
well, I did not know that happened to you last year.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I know who put it. Someone from the show, Luke, bought it for me, him and Greg, and they knew that I needed a little bit of that boost last year. That was so cool. All right, Danae, I am sorry I interrupted you. Is there anything else on Saturday you'd like to call out?
No, that was about it.
All right, let's go to Blurred PhD and then over to Angela.
Things I've looked at for Saturday. There's supposed to be I hope it's a screening of the Orphan Black Echoes pilot.
I think there is. I've heard there is.
That's the continuation with Kristen Ritter. So I loved Orphan Black. That cold opening, I think, is one of the best cold openings of any show, any pilot in the past 25 years, easy. There's also an event for Space Command, which is a crowd-funded series of sci-fi movies that why am I blanking on Mark's name? And I can Mark Zicree. Just to plug Mark a little bit, his Twilight Zone companion was one of the very first books that served as an episode guide behind the scenes look at a series. And since then, it's become kind of a cottage industry. But I met him when I was in grad school and had sold my first script to the Family Channel. And it's just been cool to see him get these projects he's come up with off the ground. And the lead of that, I mean, he gets a lot of big sci-fi names to be back. Doug Jones has a role in it. The late Nichelle Nichols has a role in it.
Tom, I'll get with you. I got invited. They're having a screening of that, of the film that you're talking about.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then Ethan McDowell, who has a small part in Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, is our lead hero. So I want to check that out because I helped support that. Also,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I heard it was one of the most successful fan-supported films in quite some time, and they're screening it, I think, at 4:00 that day.
Also on Saturday, there's a couple of TV writing panels. One's called Inside the Writer's Room, and I guess they might deal with. I couldn't get through the link on my stupid phone, but I think they're going to deal with some of the things. Some of the
top showrunners in town are going to be discussing why the writers are on strike. It's if you're interested in what's happening to Hollywood right now, it's the panel to go. It's showrunners who would normally be there, typically be there promoting a show. Yeah, with big panels that we all want to see. They're going to be there. So that's a panel not to miss. I'll be at that one.
And then
Me too.
In the evening, my friend Bill Waters puts together a panel called Everyone's a Critic, Being a Journalist in the Internet Age. So that's always an interesting, it's always interesting to see what comes up among us and then what comes up from audience questions. So.
And you might be a part of that panel. I've seen you on that panel before, Tom. That's a great panel. Just talking about how everybody in the internet age, everybody gets nasty and think they have a right to tell creators how to make a show, go. But
I think
you're missing. There's a big panel at 1:30 in Hall H that you might be interested in.
What is that? The Star Trek Universe panel?
Yes.
I don't think there's going to be anybody from the show here. The writers can't be here. I mean, what are they going to do? Show us some episodes? I mean, I guess they can show us some episodes.
They're just going to put the empty chairs from the Enterprise up on the table and look at them.
They'll put a blank view screen with Klingon battle cruisers and Romulan warbirds going across every few minutes.
If they're depending on how things go, and it looks a little bleak, but still featuring exclusive content from Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Lower Decks, which is Star Trek and Strange New Worlds. It doesn't say Picard. I haven't finished Picard yet, although
no, Picard's done.
I know it's done, but I'm almost done with season 2. I'm about to start season 3 because it's basically a Next Generation reunion. So I'm super excited about that.
Oh, season 3 is pretty good.
All right. For you, Angela, anything on Saturday that we may have missed?
Yeah, in fact, I'm sorry, we're backtracking. I missed on Friday night at 9:15 Dr. Horrible screening and Dr. Horrible screening and horrible karaoke is what they call it. So
Dr. Horrible, which is the result of the previous writer's strike, actually.
Yep. Yeah, so funny enough, there it is. Okay, so you sing along and they do the screening for Dr. Horrible sing along blog. So that's happening Friday night at 9:15. If anyone can still stand up by the end of Friday night, that's there. Saturday, I know I have friends who I want to come and support. So I'll be going into Tom's panels that you mentioned earlier, Tom, of course. Danae, thank you for the Abbott Elementary heads up. And then at 3:45, I'm going to check out Anne Rice's interview with the Vampire season 2. Like we all said, we don't know what's going to happen, but I love the show and how clever they were at adapting like one of the few books I've ever read, which is an interview with a vampire. It is so good. So I am looking forward to that stuff that I'm a fan of. I'll go and check out. But I think on Saturday, I do have a number of friends. In fact, if you're one of them watching, or if you have a panel, please find me on socials and let me know what time and where, so I could at least pop in, wave, or show some support afterwards for Saturday. But I think that I started to watch Demon Slayer. I think that there's a panel for 4 p.m. for that, but I'm not fully immersed. I'm not very knowledgeable in anime. I think I just wanted to dip my toes in the water, so I may or may not check that out.
Yeah.
or and TV show. Like there's just a ton and different collections and whatnot. So that's for Saturday. I think there's a lot more, but those are the ones that stand out in the top of my head.
If depending on how the strike, and again, we'll just put that in front of everything. Legendary Entertainment has the 11 a.m. time slot in Hall H. It's usually the time slot that we would be expecting to see DC Warner Brothers, but the Legendary is they're part of DC Warner Brothers. They're one of the they're not part of it. What are they? Oh wait, they're with Universal now.
Company, and Legendary split from Warner's a couple years ago. They're working with
Universal. So the rumor is they're bringing Dune Part 2, but are they also the ones who are doing the Godzilla verse? I think they are. The Godzilla.
They might have been. So, are they doing the show for Apple?
That I don't know.
The Titans thing for Apple.
Ooh, I don't know. But if Legendary comes, they'll bring Dune, and I know they're gonna because Godzilla is coming out next year. The new Godzilla Kong. Whatever
Godzilla, my friend.
What? What's that?
The bad dubbing.
Oh,
when they bought the original 50s Godzilla movies and they would
which I watched. I watched this past Saturday night. I watched the original King Kong from 1933, and
so good.
Yes, and then the original Godzilla. I'm one of the guys. I'm a proponent. There's only been one movie where Godzilla's ever been scary. It's the original. All the rest of them, he's the friend of humanity and protecting us against monsters. I want a scary Godzilla. I am.
So come on, Godzilla the hero. You want Godzilla the
bad guy.
I want the bad guy Godzilla, badass Godzilla, Badzilla, and love him or hate him. There is one big Hall H panel that's kind of closing out Hall H for the weekend. It's William Shatner, Call Me Bill. The Star Trek legend is on hand to discuss Legion M's new documentary about him. You Can Call Me Bill. And from recent comments from William Shatner, and people are reading into it maybe too much or who knows. He's made some comments about he realizes he will not be around much longer. Who knows what he's saying? I mean, he's 91 or 92. How old is he? He's
in his 90s.
So
if you want to read something depressing, Google his comments after he went up to space, for real.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's like, wow.
Okay. Let's finish off with Sunday. Sunday. Who's got something for Sunday? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Anybody? Angela.
I have something for Sunday, and it's my Sunday ritual every single year at Comic-Con. It's Buffy Once More with Feeling, an interactive Whedonverse musical. You sing along, you stand up, you do the dances to it, you just mouth the words with the actors, and on the screen. I am a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan for decades now, right? And it is so much fun. I'm telling you that I leave this panel, or I leave this, event kind of crying, because I've had by then I'd had an amazing 4 or 5 days at the convention. I know that it's over. I know people are starting to go home, checking out of their hotels, what have you. And there's that emotion of like, oh no, it's ending. It's all ending. And when's the next convention? And, because you just have such a special time at Comic-Con that you don't want it to end. And when it's ending, all the emotions are there. So this is how I like to wrap up my Comic-Con on Sundays at the 3 p.m. panel for Buffy Once More with Feeling.
That's awesome. I agree with you.
6 Degrees of Geek, formerly known as Whedonopolis.
There you go. Yeah.
By the way, let's talk. What'd you say, Tom?
Sponsored by 6 Degrees of Geek, formerly known as Whedonopolis.
Whedonopolis.
And Whedon Con, which, the former Josh Whedon Con, they are sort of partners with the Con guy. We are hosting some of the Power Rangers at their table. They are now called Fandom Charities.
Well, they've always been Fandom Charities.
Yeah, but they're kind of going by that now. Let's just say they're.
Are you working with Marcia?
Yeah. Do you know Marcia?
I know Marcia.
Marcia's great.
I know Marcia very well. Make sure she knows that we're buds.
I will. And if Tom, find me, let's go down and talk to her. She's fantastic. And she partnered with us in WonderCon. We hosted all the Power Rangers at her table at one time, and she was great. And we're partnering with her to help promote her fall event, which is the the Buffy homecoming. They're having it in the gym of the is it Torrance High School where they actually filmed the Buffy
Yes, where exactly
The
where they
homecoming.
shot Sunnydale High School.
Yes, they're
What
going down.
could possibly
I'm
go
I'm
wrong?
going. I'm going to the homecoming.
What could possibly go wrong? That's going to be a good event that we want everything. Everybody should go to that. All right, I do have one on Sunday. I do want to call out. It is my panel that I am a part of. I have been asked to be on this panel. I've been part of it for a while now, but it used to be called How to Have a Full-Time Creative Career on a Part-Time Schedule, but they've changed it, the focus a little bit. Now it's called Success and Creativity. It's the reimagined panel, which used to be called Full-Time Creative Work on a Part-Time Schedule. It's learn how to enhance your creative collaborations with practical advice on networking and communication, helping you unlock your creative potential and promoting effective resources, workflow, and time management. 30 lucky participants will have a chance to win a One by Wacom tablet, it's a tablet, courtesy of Wacom. So they're giving away 30 tablets, guys. That's ridiculous.
Wow.
They usually give away. It's pretty cool. It's going to be.
Those are well reviewed too. Those ones.
That panel is always packed. It's like the final panel of the show. And basically, it's people who come in and they want to meet together. And one of the big things is bring business cards, bring some way to network with people, because for the first 10, 15 minutes of the panel, everybody stands up. You go, writers go find artists find writers, find letterers, find find people who help you can push your career forward, because it is an industry focused panel on helping people who are creative in the industry to move forward. So it's great.
What time is that, Jim?
It's at 4:00 on, thank you for asking, 4:00 Sunday afternoon, room 24 ABC. Close out your Comic-Con with a great way to get deeper involved. Anything else on Sunday, folks, before we kind of end here?
My big thing on Sunday is going down to the floor.
Yep.
Because everybody's trying to pack stuff up. And that's when you can do some haggling typically. I mean,
Danae knows what's up. You know
don't
what's
wait
up.
till Sunday to buy the big things you really want, but Sunday is sometimes when you can score some cool deals.
Yep.
That's my main focus for Sunday is the floor.
I'll see you there. We'll bargain together.
Tom, anything on Sunday?
Something that struck my fancy. There is a Star Trek Picard season 3 behind the scenes hosted by Larry Nemecek. Larry wrote the Star Trek Next Generation Companion, which ended up going through multiple revisions. But he's a friend I met when I first moved to LA back in '95. And he's going to have the science advisor for the show and some other behind the scenes people talking about stuff. So,
yeah. Well, I do want everyone to know, like, even though it seems like we've just kind of skimmed the surface, that's because we have just skimmed the surface. We've talked about some of the larger panels, the TV panels. I mean, it's kind of what we know. A lot of us are actors, TV writers, and in the business, so we kind of know those things. But also, Tom especially, we know comic books. Comic books we love. I encourage you folks. There are probably like 200 comic book specific panels happening this weekend at San Diego Comic-Con, whether it's how to get in, how to brainstorm, how to network, how to find artists. So many panels in that. I think the Comic Connection is also happening. My friend April Wallen, she runs it. It's kind of like speed dating for artists and writers of comic books to get together and meet each other and start projects together. So when you see those things, I'll try to call it out on the website. Anything else that sticks out as far as programmatic?
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, Jim. You mentioned like the speed dating for like sort of networking, but back in the day, they used to have an actual speed dating for nerds like event, and I couldn't quite find it. If anyone knows about this or knows the organizer of it or knows if it's actually happening this year, I'd be really curious. Hit me up on Instagram, let me know, or on Facebook. I'm curious about it. Asking for a friend.
No, I remember those days. I remember that, Angela. I think the speed dating used to take place off-site from San Diego Comic-Con, but if you go to like LA Comic-Con, it's one of the panels. It's one of the events. I think they.
Huh.
I think I could be 100% wrong, but anyways, thank you, Andy. Andy, for watching tonight. William Shatner is 92. And yes, Lily, we cannot forget about Godzuki, the son of Godzilla. Who was the wife of Godzilla? I just want to, anyways, let's just say we don't need to go there.
Mothra, it was an interspecies thing.
Herzilla.
But anyways, I'm trying to see if there's any comments. We didn't really get to a lot of the comments tonight, guys, and I apologize for that. But we have had so much fun. Tom, you are coming, right?
Yeah.
We gotta hook up. I think you were here
We'll
last
have
time.
plenty of time since I won't be in Hall H.
I know that's what I see. That's one of the pieces of advice, not advice, things that I keep telling people is like, we don't have to like cry about Hall H not being quite as robust this year. It's just going to change the way you do Comic-Con. Instead of waiting for 2 days of hard on the ground for 2 days and switching spots.
See a movie that turns out to be really terrible.
Yeah, you can actually jump into some cool stuff. And next week is our final podcast. I don't know who will be with us, but we are going over all the last minute stuff, preparations, and offsites. There are a number of offsites that are happening, a number of parties. I think the Entertainment Weekly party is happening because Entertainment Weekly is here with 2 or 3 panels and a lot of folks to bring it down. So I could be wrong about that. But anyways, I am going to let us all say our goodbyes, and then I'm going to start we have like a last minute interview with, and I'm going to invite everyone to go with, I almost said James Gunn, with Jeff Gunn. I know. Thank you for correcting my spelling, Angela, earlier.
You're welcome.
It's Jeff Gunn. He's with InfoList here in Los Angeles. And for those who want to get super excited about going to Comic-Con before it starts, Los Angeles, besides San Diego, LA is kind of like your Comic-Con central. It's the industry folks. A lot of the writers and artists live up here, and they all get together 1 week before Comic-Con at the pre-Comic-Con bash thrown by Jeff Gunn. If you want to go, it's a ticketed event. You must have a ticket. It's basically invite only, but you can get an invitation by buying a ticket. And today is the last day of some half price discounted tickets to the event. So I encourage you guys to check it out. But before I start the video, because I'm not going to make you guys hang on here, but I'm going to watch it. I would love to know where people can find you guys online, and give me like what the one thing you're most excited for Comic-Con. Angela.
Hi, Angela Relucio. Find me on Instagram. I'm usually more there than on Facebook, but it's at Angela Relucio. It's on your screen right there. And I'm excited to see all of your faces in real life and to meet the folks who are watching this tonight, because I love to meet everybody and know what they're doing and show up and support and just have a great time. I'll see you all there in San Diego.
Fantastic. Miss Danae.
Well, I'm Danae Sams. You can find me on TikTok at Danae Sams, on Instagram at DNAYS. Like I said, it's been 7 years since my last Comic-Con. I'm excited for a lot. I think I'm most excited to see our friend Greg.
Yes, Greg's coming back. One of my best friends. Tom, you know Greg.
He's one of the greatest guys ever, and I cannot wait to see him and hang out with all of you guys. It's going to be awesome.
Can I tell you something crazy? Greg sometimes says, Jim, I don't know how you keep up this pace, because when he shows up here, he's always busy. He shows up at 4 o'clock this Saturday. At 5:30, we're taking him to a murder mystery party where he has to dress up. Then on Sunday, our friend Patty's got a bowling birthday party that goes until 6, but we're cutting out to go to JT's birthday party, which starts at 6. And then Monday, I'm going to force Greg to come into the podcast. Tuesday, we head down to Comic-Con. He'll be dead by then, but I can't wait for Greg to get here. All right. Greg's going to be so glad to hear you say that today.
I can't wait to see him. I'm so excited.
Any comedy shows coming up that we need to know about?
Check my Instagram. Forgive me, I've been a little frazzled today, so I can't give you exact dates right now. I think, you know what, I shouldn't say it because I'm gonna get it wrong. Just check my Instagram and my TikTok because the accurate dates will be there.
All right. So. And we do have to end because we are way late. All right, Tom. And if Tom's on the East Coast where it's really late. Tell people how to find you and what you're most excited looking for.
At Blurred PhD on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and I'm still on Twitter, but I'm gonna be phasing out because it's too. Yeah, and check out my monthly podcast, Screen Tom, which the link's on Instagram.
Screen Tom. Is it THOM?
Of course it is.
Screen Tom. All right. What are you most looking forward to?
Seeing you guys.
All right. I love it.
It's
All
been a
right,
minute.
guys. And James D. Fry of theconguy.com. Find us down there. But we have one more show next week, we think. But stick around. We got a really cool interview right here if you want to come to a really cool LA Comic-Con party happening on Thursday. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
It is the infolist.com pre-Comic-Con bash. It has become kind of a tradition here in the Los Angeles area. Welcome, Jeff Gunn from Infolist to the show. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, really good. Really good. Great to be on the show with you too. And I've been crazy busy getting ready, of course, for the pre-Comic-Con bash. It's a lot of work, but it's my chance to get some truly amazing people together. We get some of the biggest names in the industry all in one place. And I think what's unique about my events is that it's actually rare to be able to meet so many like big name people all in one place, unless you're at a major con or something like that. And what's kind of better about my thing, with all respect to the cons, which are awesome, is when you meet them there, like frequently there's like a long line of people. You get to meet them for 5 seconds. Hi, here's my card. What can you do for me? Okay, bye. And probably never hear from them again. At my events, you actually get to hang out in a relaxed, chill atmosphere. You can talk to them for 5 minutes, 5 hours, well, maybe 4 hours, depending how long they're there. But actually make a real relationship because you're getting to know them on a real, like, kind of one-on-one basis.
Well, Luke and I, Cheeseman and I, we've gone to your event these past few years. We've had the privilege of going in, and we will attend with some folks, and we always like to bring a group with us. And I can just tell you, it is the best way. If people are into the Comic-Con spirit and you're heading down, this is like one of the best ways to just kind of like get you jazzed up for the event. But like you said, you're able to meet so many people in such a condensed short amount of time. It's pretty amazing. I know, Luke, you have some questions for him.
Yeah, just each year things have been like a little different and all that. Like what can people expect this year from this event?
So this year we're doing it at a place called Academy LA, which is kind of cool because it's has a big outdoor area. So it's kind of chill, relaxed patio kind of vibe. But if you want to go in, there's also an indoor area where they've got like 360 like screens all over the ceiling, on the walls, which is very Comic-Con friendly. So we're gonna have some video and cool graphics, going all around you just to make sure you're dizzy all night. We're gonna have some food trucks and stuff there, so you'll be able to get some cool food and some drinks. So that's kind of the vibe. I don't know if you want, I can go over like some of the.
Well, yeah, we got some really cool folks that are showing it. For example, thank you very much. Like we are celebrating this year the 30th anniversary of the Power Rangers. The Power Rangers been around since 1993, and we are having a big 30th anniversary, the official 30th anniversary panel down at San Diego Comic-Con down there. And some of the Rangers are going to make appearances. They're going to come. They're excited. I'm going to tell you. Of course, Peter Adrian Sudarso. He was in Ninja Steel, Hyperforce. He was also in The Last of Us and Supergirl. Peter's going to be coming. He was the Blue Ranger, and he was also Marvin the Red Ranger. Sulian Ward. He was TJ the Red Ranger in Power Rangers Turbo, In Space, and Ninja Steel, and of course, Mr. Walter Jones himself. He is the original Black Ranger. So exciting. And Walter is like the Energizer Bunny. He has so much energy. He'll keep the party going all night. But like, you got so much talent, so many. And I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit of self-promotion there. Those guys are cool. But other than that, you've got like dozens and dozens of industry folks. Can you tell us a little bit about who's showing up? And then Luke, I'll throw it back over to you.
Well, you guys get to do a little self-promotion because it is your show. So Walter I've known for many years. He's awesome. And the other Power Rangers, I'm looking forward to meeting them too. But yeah, we've got guys. We've got like Rod Roddenberry, who, for those who don't know, he's Gene Roddenberry's son, the guy who created Star Trek. And he's the guy who's like the executive producer of the whole franchise now. So he's executive producer on Picard, on Discovery, Strange New Worlds, Prodigy, a bunch of different ones. So Lower Decks. So he's like, it's such an honor to have a guy like that there. We're also going to have Ilya Salkind And he's like the executive producer of like all the Superman movies, the whole Superman
fantastic.
franchise. So that doesn't stink either. I edited myself a little bit.
Don't worry about it.
We've got Stan Lee's Kamikaze is going to be there. Stan Lee, of course, isn't part of it anymore, but it's the Los Angeles Comic-Con people.
Yep.
Like most of their top executives are going to be there. For many years, we've also had POW Entertainment coming. They had some other stuff going on this year, so they couldn't make it. But actually, we're going to have Bob Sabuni, who used to be the chief marketing officer for Stan Lee's POW Entertainment. And also he's an exec at Marvel. He's got his own film production company now, so he's a busy guy, but he's going to be there. We're going to have Larry Kazanoff, who's executive producer on awesome films like True Lies, the whole Mortal Kombat movie franchise is by him. I think Lego Star Wars also he did.
You have Tohiro Masumine. He's Shredder in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2014 movie. That's pretty cool because this is a big year for the Turtles at Comic-Con with the new movie coming out and everything. So that's
right.
kind of a big get there. That's really cool.
Yeah, Toru's he's a great guy too. He's very friendly, very approachable, and he's a shredder. So, and for any actors out there, we're going to have some talent agents there, both acting talent agents as well as voiceover, which of course is important in the Comic-Con world. Talent agents from CESD, they're actually a pretty big, well-known agency. A number of other agents also come and are just mingling low-key in the crowd. They try to stay low-key sometimes. But if you're persistent and looking around, you can find them. And that is actually some advice I would give some people, will go to my events and like, yeah, I walked around and I didn't get to meet the da-da-da-da. Well, did you know what they look like? No, I had no idea. Well, we got the internet. There's a thing called the internet. Find out what they look like. And then in 5 minutes, you can walk around and find whoever it is you're looking for, if you know what they look like.
Jeez,
awesome. So with tickets, like are there different packages or is it just one ticket or like what's the cost and kind of different?
So we've got both general admission tickets, which get you in the event and you still get to meet and talk to everybody. The VIP tickets for those who enjoy being on the red carpet and getting all the red carpet shots and doing all that. The VIP tickets give you priority to get on the red carpet and they get you in shorter wait in line, kind of get more to the front. So it's those are $40 full price, $30 full price for the general admission tickets. So for $10, you get in quicker and get on the red carpet. But the cool thing is if you get them by tomorrow, you can get 30% off of that for the InfoList Premium members. But even I'm giving a discount even to the general public who say to InfoList and don't sign up for a premium thing. I'm kidding. We love everybody. But they still even get 10% off. So
cool.
Awesome. Now, is there parking there or what do you recommend for people for parking or getting there?
No, we actually there's $15 parking, which in Hollywood is almost unheard of.
For people in Hollywood, that's a shocker right there.
But actually, there's a lot right next door. So to the event, and I'm blanking on their address, but it's literally just to the left.
Well, the Academy's at 6021 Hollywood Boulevard, so it's right next door.
Yeah. And so they've got $15 parking. Get there early in case they fill up, because with $15 parking, there may be not as many people taking Uber, So
Right. Well, Jeff, we don't have a lot of time with you because we know you're super busy, but I do want to ask you about how do people dress? What's the quote unquote dress code for this event? Because I know it's kind of different than your normal events.
Well, cosplay is, of course, always welcome. And we got some amazing cosplayers there. Which is always fun. I'm just always inspired by their creativity and what they put together. But you don't have to come in cosplay, so no stress. Just anything cool, hip, sexy, It's because I do a number of other events throughout the year, like a pre-Oscars and a pre-Emmys, and those are a little more elegant and kind of got to get dressed up for those. These can be more casual. It's just more of a party, so it can be casual as long as it's kind of cool and hip.
Yeah. Cheeseman, we've been before. If you want to tell folks kind of what it was like. What was it like for us when we were there?
Well, it's a great place if you're doing cosplay to kind of try out, your cosplay before going down. So 1 year I dressed up like Abraham from Walking Dead, and that got a lot of attention because I did the bat to the head, and that was before it was released that he was actually the one that got killed. I just predicted it was that, but that went over well, which I ended up doing at Comic-Con as well. So I definitely recommend if you have cosplay, it's a great place to, try stuff out. Definitely, great place to get like drinks and food, and just the vibe of the place is always a great part that you do and everything too. So it's just feels very like artistic, feels very creative, feels like a party, and, obviously you've said, other people are there. So sometimes if you can't make it to Comic-Con, this is a way to experience it away from San Diego, if you're local to LA.
Yeah, and the thing is, and just like Luke said, the thing that's so cool, it's a party, it's a good party. But for those of us who are trying to be in the industry, like Luke and I, we're screenwriters and we're podcast and website folks. There's actors, talent agents, everything. Our buddy Pat Jankowicz, I'm looking at the list. He's going to be there. He's a journalist for Starlog and Fangoria. Speaking of the
and we've actually got the publisher.
I just saw that. That's super exciting. Yeah, Chris Gore.
Like every year. Yeah,
Chris Gore is going to be there from Film Threat Magazine. You've got a lot of the magazine, Geekscape podcast, Jonathan London. You got the film festival, I forget the name of the film festival, the Geek Fest Film Festival. Bill Ostrov's going to be there. We've had him on the show a few times. It's a lot of people that we don't see very often, but we get to hang out with them. So, anyways,
and actually, what I would recommend for everyone, if you want to see it'd be too long. It would take up the whole show, probably 3 of these shows, if we listed all the amazing special guests we're going to have. But if you go to infolist.com, and then you'll see it'd be like the first or second posting. It'll be right near the top, pre-Comic-Con Bash. Click on that, and you'll see the long list of the truly amazing special guests that you will get to meet one-on-one in person and hang and chat with and have a drink with, and make a real connection.
All right. Well, Jeff, I am so glad that you were able to carve out a little bit of time to be with us today. Luke, do you have anything left to ask him before we kind of jump off here?
No, just check it out, and we hope to see you there, everyone.
Jeff, we can't wait to see you Thursday. Everybody, remember, go to infolist.com, get your tickets. Are you sold out of the VIP tickets yet, Jeff?
We've still got those left.
Okay, cool.
We may be sold out before, cool. So I recommend the sooner
go today. As soon as you see this podcast, go buy your tickets because there's a discount right now. So go get it. Don't delay. Hey, Jeff, we can't wait to see it. Jeff, do you ever make it down to the convention itself?
Yeah, I've gone every year for over a decade.
Awesome.
Probably more than that. So yeah, I've got a lot. It's great. I get to meet so many friends, catch up with people I haven't seen for a while, and meet new people, see all the amazing stuff, all the comic book artists. So it's always fun down there.
All right. Well, the Con Guys are going to see you this Thursday. Everybody else, we'll see you Thursday at Jeff Gunn's InfoList pre-Comic-Con Bash Party. It's going to be a blast. See you later, guys.
We'll see you all there.
Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to The Con Guy Show, the official program of theconguy.com. Find us on the Weeby Geeks Collective or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And now on sci-fi.radio, Saturdays at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific, both AM and PM. That's 9 o'clock Greenwich. It's sci-fi for your Wi-Fi.